Welcome.
Welcome to the Everything Podcast, and in this episode I'm going to be recapping Neighbours episode 9324, originally released on the 6th of October 2025. But before I get on with my recap, a couple of things. First thing, as you can probably tell, I have recovered from my cold, so I do sound kind of how I normally would. And the second thing is that, if you hadn't noticed already recently, that my recaps no longer include trailers, just so I can get more episodes recorded with the time that I have. But without further ado, here's my recap of Neighbours episode 9324. We start off with a previously recap, which includes Max and Jade discussing Sadie. Max gives Jade some advice. Aaron expresses concerns to Carl about Holly. Andrew mentions the past. Andrew and Holly discuss their future. Leo mentions Krista not wanting to be pregnant again. Krista informs Nicolette of her concerns about having to look after a child. Jane gives Nicolette some advice, and Nicolette offers to have Leo's baby. Now into the main portion of the episode. We start off with the Neighbours title sequence. Nicolette would want to be a co-parent of Leo's baby. Nicolette attempts to convince Leo why her having his baby is a positive. Nicolette mentions Aaron and David, as well as Leo, Krista, Isla and Abby. Leo admits to being shocked and flattered. Susan mentions Sky, Harold and Agnes. Susan asks Carl and Holly about Zach. Holly receives a message from Andrew about them meeting up. Susan informs Carl of her concerns about Holly. Carl and Susan discuss Holly. Carl mentions Aaron. Max, Sadie and Sadie discuss Shane. Sadie mentions Felix's return. Max and Sadie agree to go drinking with Tay. Alex finishes a work call with Cara. Andrew finishes a work call with Cara. Andrew and Holly reunite. Andrew mentions Wendy and Stephen, as well as Felix. Andrew updates Holly on his plans regarding Sandy Point. Susan checks in with Holly. Susan and Holly discuss Andrew. Nicolette informs Jane of her offering to have Leo's baby. Nicolette asks Jane to be open-minded. Leo and Krista reunite. Krista mentions Sadie and Jane. Leo and Krista discuss Nicolette. Leo compliments Nicolette. Holly and Susan discuss Max and Jane. Holly snaps at Susan. Carl and Susan discuss Holly. Susan mentions Heath. Therese and Susan reunite. Susan opens up to Therese about her concerns about Holly. Krista and Jane discuss Jane modelling at Sadie's event. Krista doesn't know about Nicolette offering to have Leo's baby. Max, Tay and Sadie discuss their plans for the day. Tay apologises to Sadie. Sadie mentions several events she has faced recently. Tay shows Max and Sadie his pitch. Tay corrects Max. Leo declines Nicolette's offer. Leo apologises to Nicolette. Krista now knows about Nicolette offering to have Leo's baby. Krista confronts Leo and Nicolette about this. Krista asks Nicolette to give her some time with Leo. Nicolette obliges. Leo attempts to reassure Krista. Leo apologises to Krista. Krista convinces Leo to tell her more about Nicolette's offer. Leo does so. Max, Tay and Sadie go out. Tay learns that Shane doesn't want to invest in his idea. Tay checks in with Max. Max mentions Holly. Holly apologises to Carl. Holly informs Carl that she's planning on leaving Erinsborough. Carl mentions Max. Holly mentions Heath, Dr. Bowman and Yaz. Carl mentions... No, I've read that wrong. Carl questions Holly about her future. Holly messages Andrew. Krista catches up to Therese about Nicolette's offer. Krista mentions Abby. Therese gives Krista some advice. Krista compliments Therese. Jane apologises to Nicolette. Krista mentions Abby and Isla. Leo and Krista inform Nicolette of their decision regarding Nicolette's offer. Holly apologises to Andrew. Andrew attempts to reassure Holly. Holly mentions the future, pain, heartbreak and Wendy, as well as Felix. and Holly and Andrew hide from Max, Tay and Sadie. And then we finish off with the next episode preview, which includes Felix returning, Wendy mentions JJ returns, JJ and Felix reunite, and JJ proposes something. New episodes of Neighbours will be released Monday to Thursday at 7 a.m. UK time until the finale on the 11th of December 2025. And with that is my recap of Neighbours episode 9324. So let me know what you thought of the episode if you watched it, my recap. If you didn't, you can put your thoughts on both of those in the comments below, as well with anything else you want to cover the channel, such as any previews or recaps. Put those in the comments below as well. Remember to also like, comment and subscribe, and the podcast is now available on all audio only platforms including Spotify and Amazon Music. Please go check out those audio episodes as well. I should reassure you all that it isn't, the audio only episodes aren't taking over the podcast or the YouTube episodes, but it's just an alternative for people who prefer to just listen to the podcast instead of watch it. But the audio only episodes is literally just my audio, so it's none of the bonus episodes from Chuck. They're exclusive to YouTube. Same with the intro and the outro, and with the extra bits that Matt adds to each of the episodes to make them look fantastic. But without further ado, I will see you in a future episode of the podcast. See you then. Goodbye.